There's a very beautiful wise quote by Bishop Oyedepo that says that life is in phases and men are in sizes. Now, if there is anything that should mark any phase of life, it should be reading. Why? Because reading is important. If you learn to read, the whole world opens up to you, according to President Barack Obama. Hi, I'm Ngozi Okure. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, we discuss books and reading and how to leverage reading for success in life. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you can give me a thumbs up, that would be amazing. Now, we started this video by discussing how to pick the right books, part 1. And in continuing with the part 2 today, we'll be looking at how to pick the right books, part 2. In part 1, we said that it's so important to prioritize reading the Bible. And we said that this is because when you read the Bible regularly, it's just like rubbing minds with the owner, the writer of the Bible. And we say that nobody reads the Bible consistently who remains a dwarf in life. Okay, the Bible has a way of making you have the I can do it mentality. We said that the second category of books that must be read by everyone are books on healthy living. And we said that health is so important, that when a man loses health, he has lost everything. That is so important that we read books on healthy living so that we can know how to take care of our bodies, right? Then the third category of books we talked about are books on finances, stressing that we live in an economic world where money is used to do everything. Money is used to pay for virtually everything, okay? And we say that it is so important that we learn how to make money, and the money is called currency because it flows. And who does money flow to? We say money flows to people who understand the laws of money, and most of the people who understand the laws of money are people who have, created wealth, people who have in their lifetime created wealth, and they have written books on how they were able to do it, the steps they took. And we said that it's so important that we learn from them. Continuing in this video, we want to look at how to pick the right books, part 2. And I want to refer you back to that Oyedepo quote that says that life is in phases, okay? Men are in sizes. Now, it's so important, whatever phase of life you are in, that you pick the books for that particular phase. Of course, you know that life is in phases. You have the newborn, toddlers, then young children, pre-teenagers, teenagers, young adults, then you now begin to talk about people who are elderly. Okay, so whatever phase of life you are in, it's so important that you pick the relevant books for it. In one of my recent videos, I talked about the fact that a particular man of God says that nobody is qualified to marry who has not read at least 15 good books on marriage. Now, are you a young person, you are waiting to get married, and you want to have a blissful marriage? This is the time to begin to read books on marriage, right? Now, I remember yesterday, somebody asked me, how were you able to learn these things you're teaching? How were you able to learn how to give children a reading culture? And I said that when I had my first daughter, it dawned on me that I knew nothing about parenting. So what did I do? I bought books on parenting and I began to read. And it was when I got to know some of these things I'm talking about today. So just as I did then, young mother, I bought books that are relevant for that phase. That's what you should do also. Are your children toddlers? Have you read books on toddlers? Are your children teenagers? Do you know much about teenagers? In the social media, there is a trending video about a young girl that called out the government and said that they are terrible. And I smile because that's a typical Gen Z child talking. Her mannerisms, the way she talks, the confidence with which she talks, everything is Gen Z, right? So if you're raising Gen Z children and you've not read anything about them, you don't understand the way they behave, the way they talk, in fact, you don't understand their worldview, you are bound to clash with them. You will misunderstand them. So it is so important that whatever phase of life you are involved in, read the books that are relevant for that phase. Talking with one young man yesterday, his father was, full of regrets that the young man doesn't read. But while talking with him, he told me that when he was growing up, he associated reading with work. And I say, yes, I can understand so well that that's the mistake a lot of parents make when they are raising their children. They will tell them, go and read. And go and read, they're pointing them to go and read their schoolwork. Unfortunately, young children associate schoolwork with pain. They associate schoolwork with work. And nobody wants to work. They don't like it. So I told them that the best thing to do when your children are young, instead of taking them to eateries every time, once in a while, take them to bookshop and allow them to pick fun books. Allow them to pick books that they can associate with enjoyment. That is a mental thing. And that's one of the things that God helped me to get right with my children. The association with books is enjoyment, is fun. So with that, they can read. Let the association that is established between your children and books be that of fun and enjoyment. If they see books and reading as fun and enjoyment, they will read, right? Okay, so those are the mistakes that some people make because they didn't read and prepare for the phase of life they are in. They didn't read and prepare for parenting, and you shouldn't make them. I have free webinars for parents on how to give their children a reading culture, and I talk with parents often. Most of them are full of regrets. Most of them tell me that, by the time they are getting to know these things I'm teaching about how to give children a reading culture, they've already made a lot of mistakes. They've already given their children screens. A lot of those children are already addicted to those screens. Okay, that's what is so important. If you're entering any phase, read the relevant book so that you're prepared, and so when you get into that phase, you will not make mistakes. Okay, one of the synonyms of ignorance is darkness, and you can't afford to go through any phase of life in darkness. You can't afford to go through marriage in darkness. You can't afford to go through parenting in darkness, even personal development, even your career, whatever it is. I think it was Brian Tracy that I listened to. He was saying that any field he entered into, that the first thing he used to do was to sit down and ask questions and read. So how do things work here? And then whatever he learns, if it's sales or marketing, he'll first of all take his time to understand how things work in the field of marketing. Then when he has acquired enough knowledge, then he goes. No wonder his life is marked with, a lot of success, okay? So that's what to do. Life is in phases, men are in sizes. Whatever phase you are entering into, prepare for it. Now, having said that, let's look briefly on the next phase. And the next phase is reading books on personal development. Reading books on personal development. It is your responsibility to present to the world the best version of yourself. And an ignorant version of yourself is not a good one. So you must have to make up your mind to engage in personal development. Now, what many people don't understand is that there is a big difference between formal education and personal development, right? Formal education and personal or self-education. Now, there are so many people who have graduated from the university 20 years ago, and from the time they dropped their biro after taking their degree exams, they have not read a single book cover to cover. Right? Just like Terry Savette told us in one of her videos that when she finished from college, she told herself that she was never going to read any book again. And she stayed true to that commitment for years. But thank God that after some time, she decided against that, and then she now began to read. Today, she's an advocate of the fact that we should read the Bible, read inspirational and motivational books regularly. Now, when Terry began to read again, when she picked her books and began to read again, the whole world opened up to her. Today, she's on great stages and platforms in life. Why? Because when she opened herself up and began to read, the whole world opened up to her. According to the Obama quote that says that reading is important, it says, if you learn to read, it said the whole world will open up unto you. And I'm telling you that right now, if you are one of the people who finished degree exams decades ago and you've not been reading anything, I want you to go back to reading. Pick up your books once again and begin to read, because in reading, the world will open up to you. The world will begin to celebrate you. Thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful video. I believe you got value. Please, if you got value, I want you to subscribe to my channel and tell other people about this video. God bless you real good.